There exists a version of you that can emerge in exactly 21 days, not through wishful thinking or positive affirmations, but through precise neurological reprogramming backed by cutting-edge brain science. This isn't the person you think you should become someday. This is the person your neural architecture is capable of creating right now, using the same 86 billion neurons you already possess. Most people live their entire lives trapped in an outdated identity program installed during childhood, never realizing they have the biological capacity to completely rewrite who they are in less than 3 weeks. But here's what neuroscientists at Harvard and Stanford have discovered. Your brain doesn't distinguish between an old identity and a new one. It simply runs whatever program has been most recently and consistently reinforced. Dr. Michael Merzenich's groundbreaking research on neuroplasticity reveals that focused mental training can literally reshape your brain's physical structure in as little as 21 days. The neurons that fire together wire together, and the neurons that stop firing together stop wiring together. This means your current identity is not permanent. It's simply the result of repetitive neural patterns that can be systematically replaced. Right now, your subconscious mind is running approximately 95% of your daily behaviors from programs installed before you were 7 years old. These programs determine how you see yourself, what you believe you're capable of, and what kind of life you think you deserve. But what if you could consciously install new programs designed by the adult you for the person you're meant to become? Today, you'll learn the exact 21-day protocol that transforms your neural networks from the inside out. The question is simple: are you ready to meet the upgraded version of yourself? Before we dive deep, subscribe to the channel, and if you're ready to stop living as an outdated version of yourself and finally step into your highest potential, write in the comments, "I'm ready to reprogram my identity." This journey requires commitment, and that simple declaration tells the universe you're serious about transformation.
The first week of identity transformation begins with disrupting the automatic programs that currently run your life. Your brain operates through neural highways built by repetition. Every morning you wake up, your mind immediately accesses the same thought patterns, emotional states, and behavioral responses you've been practicing for years. Neuroscientist Dr. Rick Hansen explains that your brain has a negativity bias, meaning it's naturally wired to focus on problems, threats, and limitations. This served our ancestors well for survival, but in modern life it keeps you trapped in identities built around fear, scarcity, and self-doubt. The pattern interruption protocol works by creating conscious breaks in your automatic responses. The moment you wake up, instead of reaching for your phone or immediately thinking about your problems, you pause. Take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, who do I choose to be today? This simple question activates your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for conscious decision-making. Throughout your day, set random alarms every 90 minutes. When the alarm sounds, stop whatever you're doing and observe your thoughts, emotions, and body language. Are you operating from your old identity or your new one? Are your thoughts aligned with who you're becoming or who you've been? Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that it takes conscious effort to break out of the familiar neural patterns that keep you stuck. Your brain will resist change because it interprets anything unfamiliar as potentially dangerous. This is why transformation feels uncomfortable at first. Your nervous system is literally rewiring itself. Practice thought substitution every time you catch your mind running old programs. Instead of thinking, "I'm not good with money," immediately replace it with, "I'm learning to master financial abundance." Instead of "I always struggle with relationships," think, "I'm developing the skills for deep, loving connections." Your identity isn't changed by big, dramatic gestures. It's transformed through thousands of small, conscious choices that gradually rewire your neural networks. Each time you choose a thought, emotion, or action aligned with your new identity, you strengthen those neural pathways. Each time you refuse to engage with old patterns, you weaken them. By the end of week 1, your brain will begin forming new neural connections. You'll notice moments where you naturally respond differently to familiar situations. This is evidence that your reprogramming is working. Week 2 focuses on emotional reconditioning, because your feelings are the fuel that drives neural change. Dr. Candace Pert's research on neuropeptides reveals that emotions are literally molecules that communicate with every cell in your body. When you consistently feel the emotions of your new identity, you're chemically signaling your entire system to adapt to that new version of you. Your current identity is maintained by familiar emotional states. If you identify as someone who struggles, your body's addicted to the chemistry of struggle, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. If you see yourself as a victim, your nervous system craves the neurochemicals associated with helplessness and resentment. The emotional conditioning process begins each morning with what neuroscientists call prospective memory, feeling the emotions of your future self before they're justified by external circumstances. Spend 15 minutes in quiet contemplation, imagining how it feels to live as your upgraded identity. How does confidence feel in your body? How does inner peace change your energy? What emotions accompany success and fulfillment? Dr. Antonio Damasio's research on somatic markers shows that your body keeps an emotional memory of everything you've experienced. To install a new identity, you must create positive somatic markers associated with your new sense of self. This happens through repetitive emotional rehearsal. Practice emotional elevation throughout your day by consciously generating feelings of gratitude, appreciation, joy, and love regardless of your external circumstances. These elevated emotions literally change your genetic expression, activating genes associated with health, vitality, and well-being while turning off genes linked to stress and disease. When challenging situations arise, use them as opportunities to practice emotional mastery. Instead of automatically reacting from old emotional patterns, pause and ask, how would my upgraded self respond to the situation? Then consciously choose to feel and express the emotions aligned with your new identity. Your brain's emotional centers are incredibly plastic. Dr. Richard Davidson's studies on meditation show that consistent emotional training can literally reshape your amygdala, reducing reactivity to stress and increasing your capacity for positive emotions. Create emotional anchors throughout your environment, photos, music, or objects that instantly connect you to the feelings of your new identity. Every time you see these anchors, take a moment to step into those elevated emotional states. By the end of week 2, you'll notice that your default emotional state has begun to shift. Instead of waking up neutral or slightly negative, you'll find yourself naturally accessing more positive emotions. This is your nervous system adapting to your new emotional baseline.
The final week of reprogramming focuses on behavioral integration, the actions that make your new identity concrete and undeniable. Dr. B.J. Fogg's research at Stanford reveals that identity change happens through consistent behavioral evidence. You become who you repeatedly act like being. Your actions are votes for the type of person you want to become. Every behavior either reinforces your old identity or strengthens your new one. There's no neutral ground. When you act in alignment with your upgraded self, you're literally rewiring your brain to make those behaviors more automatic and natural. Start each day by asking, what would someone with my new identity do first? Then do that thing, no matter how small. If your new identity is that of a healthy, energetic person, start with movement and nourishing food. If it's a successful entrepreneur, begin with income-generating activities. If it's a loving, connected person, reach out and add value to someone's life. Dr. Charles Duhigg's research on habit formation shows that the most powerful way to install new behaviors is through implementation intentions, specific if-then statements that create automatic responses. If it's 6 a.m., then I meditate for 10 minutes. If I feel stressed, then I take 5 deep breaths and choose an empowering thought. Practice future self-modeling by studying people who already embody your desired identity. How do they speak? How do they carry themselves? What decisions do they make? What do they prioritize? Then consciously adopt these behaviors as experiments in your own life. Your environment plays a crucial role in behavioral integration. Neuroscientist Dr. David Eagleman explains that your brain is constantly taking cues from your surroundings to determine appropriate behaviors. Redesign your physical space to support your new identity. Remove visual reminders of your old self and add elements that reinforce who you're becoming.
The most critical aspect of week 3 is consistency over intensity. Dr. Maxwell Maltz's research on psychocybernetics suggests that it takes approximately 21 days of consistent behavior for your self-image to adjust to match your actions. Small, consistent actions compound into massive identity shifts. Practice identity reinforcement by speaking about yourself in present tense rather than future tense. Instead of "I'm trying to become more confident," say "I'm a confident person who is still developing my skills." Instead of "I want to be successful," declare "I'm successful" and expanding my definition of what that means. Document your transformation by writing about the changes you notice in your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. This self-reflection activates your brain's attention networks, making you more aware of progress and more committed to continued growth. By day 21, your new neural pathways will have gained significant strength. Your old identity patterns will still exist, but they'll be weaker and less automatic. Your upgraded self will feel more natural and familiar. This is the beginning of permanent transformation. The 21-day time frame isn't arbitrary. It's based on decades of neuroscience research on brain plasticity and habit formation. Dr. Alvaro Pascual-Weón studies using transcranial magnetic stimulation show that intensive mental training can create measurable changes in brain structure within 2 to 3 weeks. Your brain operates on use-dependent plasticity. The circuits you use most frequently become strongest and most dominant. When you consistently think, feel, and act from your new identity for 21 days, you're essentially voting those neural networks into power while voting the old ones out of office. Dr. Norman Doidge's research demonstrates that neuroplasticity isn't limited by age. Whether you're 25 or 65, your brain maintains the capacity for rewiring throughout your lifetime. The key is providing consistent, focused stimulation to the neural networks you want to strengthen. The protocol works because it addresses all 3 levels of transformation simultaneously: cognitive, thoughts and beliefs; emotional, feelings and states; and behavioral, actions and habits. Most people only work on one level at a time, which is why their changes don't stick. True identity transformation requires integrated change across all 3 dimensions. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between real and imagined experiences. When you consistently visualize, emotionally rehearse, and behaviorally practice your new identity, your brain treats these as real experiences and adapts accordingly. This is why athletes who practice mentally show measurable improvement in physical performance.
After 21 days, your new identity will have momentum, but it will require ongoing maintenance to become permanently established. Dr. Wendy Wood's research on habit formation reveals that truly automatic behaviors can take anywhere from 66 to 254 days to become completely effortless, depending on their complexity. The key to maintaining your transformation is understanding that identity is not a fixed destination, but a dynamic process. Your upgraded self is not a final version, but a platform for continued growth and evolution. Stay curious about who you're becoming rather than attached to who you've become. Create systems rather than relying on willpower. Design your environment, relationships, and daily routines to support your new identity. Willpower is finite, but systems can run automatically and sustainably. Regular identity audits keep you aligned with your highest potential. Monthly, ask yourself, are my thoughts, emotions, and actions still aligned with who I'm becoming? What aspects of my identity need upgrading or fine-tuning? Connect with others who are also committed to growth and transformation. Dr. Nicholas Christakis' research on social networks shows that your identity is significantly influenced by the identities of people in your immediate social circle. Surround yourself with others who inspire and challenge your continued evolution. Remember that setbacks are not failures. They're data points that help you refine your approach. Your old identity patterns may resurface during stress, fatigue, or major life changes. When this happens, don't judge yourself. Simply notice, realign, and continue forward. Understanding these principles intellectually changes nothing. Transformation happens only when you translate knowledge into consistent daily practice. What specific actions will you take today to begin reprogramming your identity? The gap between knowing and doing is where most people remain stuck forever. They attend seminars, read books, and understand the concepts perfectly, but continue living the same patterns because they never bridge understanding with application. Your life changes only when your daily actions align with your highest insights. Start with the 21-day protocol beginning tomorrow morning. Choose one aspect of your identity that you're ready to upgrade, perhaps your relationship with money, your confidence in relationships, your health habits, or your professional capabilities. Focus on this single identity shift for the full 3 weeks. Create accountability by sharing your commitment with someone who will support your growth. Write down your new identity statement and read it every morning. Set up your environment to trigger the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors aligned with who you're becoming. Pay attention to your internal dialogue throughout each day and consciously redirect it toward your new identity. When you catch yourself thinking, feeling, or acting from your old patterns, simply notice without judgment and choose differently in the next moment. Most importantly, treat these 21 days as a sacred experiment in human potential. Approach the process with curiosity, commitment, and compassion for yourself. You're literally rewiring your brain and reshaping your life at the cellular level. Your brain is waiting for clear, consistent instructions about who you want to become. The neurons are ready to fire in new patterns. The chemistry is available to support new emotional states. The behavioral pathways are ready to be carved through repetition. The only question remaining is, will you provide the consistent daily input required for transformation? The upgraded version of yourself, the one who is confident, capable, and completely aligned with your highest potential, is not a fantasy. It's a neurological possibility that becomes reality through 21 days of conscious reprogramming. Your identity rebirth begins the moment you decide it does. That moment is now. The future you is calling, and today is the day you answer.